Hello, welcome to our virtual tour of the spring gardens. We're out here on this sunny Friday day. We've got a special guest. Our friend Larry Willams, our residential horticulture agent, is going to be coming out here to talk to you about some pollination. If you remember, Miss Sheila showed us some flowers in the garden. Well, it's about 2 weeks after that. We have more flowers, and now we have male and female flowers. And Larry's going to show us the difference, and even a technique that your parents can use if you want to kind of peak production. You can even pollinate yourself. You can actually be a pollinator. So without further ado, I'm going to turn it over to our resident horticulture agent, Larry Willams.
Hello, we've got a nice day to look at some cucurbits. That's the family of the cucumber. You have cucumbers and squash, watermelons, cantaloupe, pumpkins. They're all in the same family, and they all operate the same in producing separate male and female flowers. And in order to increase production of cucumbers and squash and watermelons, you can practice hand pollination, and there's a technique. You have to do it correctly. And the starting point is to be able to identify the male bloom, the flower, and the female flower. So let's take a look. I'm going to actually break off the male flower. We don't want to do this on the female flower, but you can snap off the male flower. The male flower has this green stem, as you can see here. The flower looks very similar to the female, but the male has this thin green stem, and you want to get some pollen by moving a paintbrush, a little paintbrush, or a cotton swab around and pick up some of the pollen just like the bee would do. And then you take that same paintbrush and you find a female flower, and you know that you're looking at a female flower because it will have what looks like an immature or miniature squash. It hasn't been pollinated yet, and you have to be out in the mornings when they're open. The flowers will close. You take the same one. I can see some yellow pollen on this paintbrush that I picked up in the male flower, and you then brush it around in the female flower inside, and you're actually pollinating, doing exactly what the bees or other insects would do. And after the flower is pollinated, you then should have a squash that grows and produces a nice squash. And as you can see, we're getting some squash. The spent flower is now gone, and this one pollinated itself, probably through bee activity, other insects that fly from the male flower to the female flower. And so you can really increase production in cucumbers, squash, watermelons, those kinds of things by practicing hand pollination with either a little cotton swab or a small paintbrush. And practice this, and let us know how it works for you.